My name's Ian Anderson Gray, and I help entrepreneurs level up their impact, authority, and profits using the power of confident live video. I'm so excited to be here for the Leap into Live Streaming Bootcamp from Ecamm Live. And today I'm going to be sharing basically some tips, tricks, tools, and techniques on how you can produce a live video show confidently. And that is the key word, confidently. So I've not always been confident with live video. In fact, it's been quite a struggle. And I don't know if you remember the days of Google Hangouts on air. This was quite a few years ago. This was before Facebook Live became a thing. And I remember being asked to go on a Google Hangouts on air show, and I was absolutely petrified about going on camera. Seems ridiculous now. You could say I looked a little bit like this, although this picture might depict it a little bit more. So yeah, I was really finding it difficult to go live. And then I wrote an article back in 2016 when Facebook Live came out on how to broadcast to Facebook Live from your computer. Because in those days, it was actually really difficult to do. You needed a powerful computer. You needed some software called OBS Studio. It was quite technical. And so I wrote an article on how to do it. And it went completely mad. It went completely viral. It has had over 5.7 million page views since then. But the problem that I had was I was talking about live video, but I wasn't doing live video, or I wasn't doing it very much. And that was because of my live video barriers. And I wonder whether you're struggling with any of these live video barriers, things that are stopping you from going live. So I had to get over my fear of pressing that go live button. And at one point, I didn't go live for a whole month because I was worried about my camera not being good enough, my background not being good enough. That stopped me from going live. I was also worried about looking like an idiot in front of my audience. I was comparing myself to others, and I had major imposter syndrome. I was a bit of a mess. It had to be said. So quite a few things have changed since then. I've been able to produce consistently a live video show on Facebook, LinkedIn, Periscope, and YouTube. Been able to grow my YouTube channel. Been able to bring on guests, including the founders of Ecamm Live and StreamYard and stuff onto the show, which has been awesome. I've been able to get sponsorship. I've been able to get endorsement of companies in a giveaway that I had. I broadcasted over 100 shows, and I've been able to repurpose those shows into blog posts, podcasts, videos, and I've been able to do this weekly and grow my audience. Now, I'm saying that not to boast at all. It's basically because I really struggled right from the start, pressing that go live button. I was so nervous. But I want to show you that if I can do it, if I can get over those nerves, if I can produce that consistency, then I know that you can. And that's what this presentation is really about. So how about you? I want you to believe in yourself that you too can do this, that you can create a highly engaging live video show on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. And that's what I'm going to be talking about in this presentation. I want to help you level up your impact, authority, and profits using the power of confident live video. So in today's presentation, I'm going to be going through the top barriers that people have that stop them from going live. I'm going to be talking about the gear and the tools that you need to go live, battling perfectionism and embracing the wrong. And then I want to talk about communicating with confidence with my Confident Live warm-up formula. And then finally, I want to dig into the process that I've developed that's helped me to be consistent. This is my 5 Ps live video process. So, what's stopping you from going live? I asked my audience all around the world, what are the main barriers for them? And I put this in this nice little word cloud here. So we've got words like consistency, getting started, getting the right equipment. Confidence is a big thing there. We've got some tech things going on there too, and consistency and all that kind of stuff. So I think a lot of people struggle with a lot of mindset issues. And I call these the live video syndrome. So let me know if you identify with any of these issues. I'm going to be honest, pretty much all of these I have struggled with at one time. So it could be that you say you're an introvert, and that is somehow stopping you from going live. Well, it shouldn't, because I'm an introvert. I know many introverts that go live, but maybe that's your excuse. Or maybe it's that you compare yourself with others out there. There are other people out there that are doing an amazing job, maybe they've been doing this for years, years and years, and you're looking at them and think, well, I could never do that. Of course, you're comparing your first or second video with their 100th video, and that's not a fair comparison, but that is a big problem for a lot of us. Or it could be that you're just worried about looking like an idiot, that you're feeling like an idiot on your live video shows, making a mistake. Or maybe you don't like the way you look or the way you sound. That was an issue for me. I still wouldn't say I love the way I sound when I watch a video back, but yeah, I don't think about that so much. But it could be that the way you don't like the way you look or the way you sound. Imposter syndrome is a big issue for so many people, that you're somehow thinking that you're a fraud, that you don't know as much as other people out there. And that kind of ties into comparison syndrome too. Or it could be that you're like me and that you feel that the technology that you've got, the gear, isn't good enough, that your background isn't good enough, your camera isn't good enough. You haven't quite got the sound quality the way you would like it yet. So you're using that technology as an excuse to not go live. And your audience is out there waiting for you to produce this quality stuff that you know, that we all know that you can produce, but you're using the technology as an excuse not to go live. Well, then that brings me on to the last one, which is perfectionism syndrome. You're trying to make it perfect. You're trying to get everything sorted, and then you're going to go live. Well, that's never going to happen, unfortunately. I mean, that's one of the great things about live video, that it isn't ever going to be perfect. It's something that you can improve over time, but don't try and get it perfect, because actually embracing your flaws and just going live with mistakes and everything is actually what people want. People want a bit of real. They want a bit of raw. They want a bit of humanity at the moment, definitely, and always. So the three main barriers to live video that I'm going to discuss today, and I'm going to talk to you about how you can bash through those barriers. The first one is the live video tech and gear. What is it that you actually need to go live? How can you do that to make it look really professional and good quality? Number two is the live video confidence and fear. How do you get over that fear in front of the camera? Because that is a real problem for so many people. And then finally is the live video content marketing sphere. So this is how you plan, you produce, you repurpose, how you promote your live video shows. And I'm going to be talking about all of those three sections in this presentation. So let's look at the first one, which is the live video tech and gear. What do you actually need to create your live video show? Okay, so let's look at the basics. It's actually very simple. All you need is either a smartphone or a computer. Now, the advantage with going live on a smartphone first is that it gives it a bit more of a raw and authentic feel. So you can take your phone out, you can go out on a walk, and it just has that nice raw feel. It's not going to be as professional, but that's cool. It's easier to set up, obviously. It's great for those spontaneous live video shows, and it's obviously great if you're going out and about and you're going for a walk and you giving maybe a tour or an outdoor live video. Few downsides though. Bringing in a guest is not possible unless it's Instagram Live, but all the other platforms don't allow that natively. You can't schedule your live videos on a smartphone through the normal app, the Facebook app or the YouTube app or whatever. And also it's not possible to share your screen unless you take your camera and somehow kind of like take a video of your screen while you're showing how to do something. So that's not quite so good. Now, if you go live from your computer, lots more advantages. So for example, you can create a more professional setup. Yes, you can technically plug in professional cameras into your smartphone. It's a bit more tricky to do that, but on a computer, you can use those professional cameras and microphones. You can also save and repurpose your lives for later. You can using software, using tools, you can actually record the video at the same time and get a much better quality, which is cool for repurposing. Interviewing remote guests becomes so much easier. You can share your screen, you can add videos, graphics, really create a really cool branding experience, and you can schedule your live videos, which is great for being able to promote to your list and on social media and using messenger bots and all that kind of cool stuff. So those are the advantages, disadvantages with using either a smartphone or a computer. So that's number one. You need obviously some kind of device to go live. If you're going live from your computer, just a few things that I would recommend. Most computers will allow you to go live, but obviously the faster the computer is, the more memory you've got, the better the graphics card and the processor, you're going to have better experience with this. So whether it's a Mac or a PC, there are pros and cons with that. Ideally, I would go for 16 gigabytes of RAM, although you can cope with less, that's fine. A processor, ideally at least a quad-core i7, and ideally if it's got a dedicated graphics card, that's cool. Okay, so the next thing that you need is fast internet. And the important thing here is your upload speed. You're obviously broadcasting. So download speed is great. Obviously, that's good to have a good download speed. But what you're looking for here is a decent upload speed. Now, you can cope with 3 megabits per second or lower. You can technically do on 2. I know people that have even done it lower than that. But ideally, if you've got a minimum upload speed of 3 megabits per second, it just gives you a little bit of wiggle room just in case your internet speed goes down. And ideally, particularly if you're going to be bringing in guests and doing some more cool professional stuff, then I recommend 10 megabits per second upload speed. And that's also, especially if you're going to be doing things like multicasting and broadcasting to more than one platform at the same time. So just check that. And the way to check it, there's a great tool called speedtest.net. They've got free apps for Mac, PC, Android, and iOS. And they've also got a web app too. So just head on down to there, download the apps if you can, and just check your upload speed. I recommend doing this before all of your shows just to make sure that everything's working really, really well. And you can just check that you are getting that minimum speed for your live shows. Okay, so those are the important things. What's the icing on the cake? How can we bootstrap your live video studio? So I'm a big believer in bootstrapping your live video studio. When I first started, I just had quite an old laptop. I had just a very simple webcam and microphone, and I went live. And that's all you need. That's all you need to go live. But there's quite a few things that you can add to your setup that will basically increase your professionalism. But you don't need to do this all at once unless you have tens of thousands of dollars to spend right at the start. Just build it up slowly over time. You could buy a microphone first, maybe then 6 months later, upgrade your webcam, add your lighting later, and it doesn't have to break the bank. So here are some things that you could look at to enhance your experience. So first of all are webcams. And at the moment, as I record this, there's a bit of a worldwide shortage, unfortunately, with the Logitech webcams. But Logitech really are the Logitech range of webcams are really the best in my experience. So you've got the Logitech C920. It's actually probably more like $80, $90 now because of the worldwide shortage. If you can get one, there's the 930E, and then there's the Logitech Brio, which is a 4K camera. So depending on your budget, you could get one of these, and that's really going to greatly enhance your video quality over your integrated webcam. So the other option is to use a DSLR or a mirrorless camera, and this is going to really increase the professionalism of your live video shows. So this is actually the setup that I've got. I've got a Canon M50 with a 22mm lens, and that's around the $830 mark. Now, you don't have to get the lens, but I think the extra lens gives you much better quality. It gives you that nice faded background. So you just output the HDMI into your computer and it uses it like a webcam. But the alternative to the M50 is the Panasonic G7 camera. And again, I would recommend getting another lens for that. That's the 20mm f1.7 lens. Now, you can't just plug this into your Mac or PC using USB. You have to use the HDMI converter. So you need to get something like the Elgato Camlink 4K. So obviously those cameras are a lot more expensive than webcam, but if you're wanting to take things to the next level, that's what I'd recommend. It's going to give you a much better quality. Arguably, microphones or the sound is even more important than the video. So actually, if I was to recommend the first thing that you would do in bootstrapping your live video studio, it wouldn't be your camera. It would actually be your microphone, getting a nice microphone. Because if people can't hear you, or if the sound quality isn't that great, they're going to switch off. People can kind of cope with the video not being quite so good. So maybe think about that. So there's a number of options here. You could go for a shotgun mic. So if you prefer the microphone being out of the picture, then the shotgun mic can basically be behind your screen and can pick up your voice directly in front of it. So there's either the Pixel MC650 shotgun mic, just rolls off the tongue, these names, don't you love it? That's a very inexpensive one. Or there's the Rode Video Mic Pro Plus shotgun mic, quite expensive, around $270. But the great thing about both those mics is they will also work on a DSLR or mirrorless camera. So if you want one camera that's going to do both, one microphone, that's going to do both, then definitely check out those. Or if you're wanting the more kind of radio feel, and particularly if you're going to be broadcasting, if you're going to be producing podcasts and the audio quality is really, really important to you, then one of these mics is really going to be helpful to you. So the Samsung Q2U dynamic mic is around $50. And that is a really good quality dynamic mic. It plugs directly into your computer using USB, and it also has an XLR output as well. So if you want to plug that into a mixer later on, you can. So the Samsung Q2U is an awesome microphone. And if you want to take things up to the next level, you could use this setup. This is what I use. I've got a Heil PR40 mic. This is beloved the world over by some of the really big podcasting names you'll probably have heard of, such as Pat Flynn, Cliff Ravenscraft, John Lee Dumas. And it's an amazing mic, lovely mic. It doesn't have a USB output or input, so you need to use an audio interface. And the one I recommend is either the Scarlett Solo or the Scarlett 2i2 audio interface. So that's going to cost you around $440. So not cheap, but really, really nice quality microphone. Okay, that brings me on to lighting. And really, the first thing that you could think about is get in front of the window and use sunlight. There's this amazing piece of kit called the sun. And so that is one thing that you could do. If you're going to be broadcasting live videos during the day, then just make sure that you've got a nice open window. And if it's sunny, you're okay. But if you want to be a bit more consistent and you wanted to be able to broadcast at night, or if you've not got a nice window with the sun, then you might want to think about some of these lighting sets. So you could get a softbox from around $40. LED sets, I've got some of these. These are around $60 each. Or if you want to be really fancy, you could go for the Elgato key lights. So they're not cheap. They're around $130 upwards. The great thing about the Elgato key lights is that you can change the color temperature as well. Now, a lot of people ask me about ring lights, and everyone has their own view on what setup is the best in terms of lighting. Personally, I'm not a massive fan of ring lights, because particularly if you wear glasses, because you can see this kind of ring reflection in your eyes when you're doing this. So it kind of depends what you're wanting to do. Ring lights are great, but you need to be very careful that you don't get that reflection in your glasses or even in your eyes. Even if you don't wear glasses, you can sometimes see this little ring in your eyes. So just be careful of that. And so live video tools. There are so many live video tools out there. I've got a comparison article on my blog. If you just go to iag.me and go down, and you'll see the live video streaming tools article that I've written. That will go through all the comparison with all the different ones, whether it's Ecamm Live, StreamYard, Wirecast, OBS Studio, BeLive, so many of them, and loads of pros and cons between them. But Ecamm Live is one of my favorite tools. It's really the best live video streaming tool for Macs, in my opinion. And I've looked through pretty much all of the tools out there. So every week on my Confident Live Marketing podcast, I bring in different guests. And one week I was very privileged to have Ken and Glenn for Ecamm Live on. And because I trained as a professional singer, that's one thing I forgot to mention at the start. I trained as a classical singer about 20 years ago. I thought I'd combine my love of technology and my love of music together and compose a little theme tune every single week. So here was my theme tune for Ecamm Live.
Ecamm Live. I will survive. I will survive. I will survive. With Ecamm Live. Ecamm Live. Yeah.
You probably didn't expect me to do that. Right, so moving on swiftly. Ecamm Live, just a little bit about it. Ecamm Live, the pros about this, first of all, inexpensive. It's really easy to use. It allows you to broadcast to Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, Restream, RTMP, pretty much all the platforms out there, which is cool. It allows you to display and highlight comments on the screen. You can share your screen. You can use green screen. You can use multiple webcams and cameras and change the scenes. You can import graphics and videos and really have cool branding, which is awesome. You can bring in guests via Skype. You can save the videos in a high quality format for later, great for repurposing. And you can use Canon and other types of cameras, professional cameras, without extra software, which is one of my favorite features. Downsides of Ecamm, it's Mac only, but there are alternatives out there which I can talk about. There's, there's the likes of StreamYard, there's a vMix, there's Wirecast. And at the moment, what multicasting requires extra software. So I'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, Ecamm Live is an awesome software. So if you want to look at streaming to more than one platform, at the moment you can use Restream with Ecamm Live, which is a service that allows you to multicast to multiple platforms, which is really cool. So great thing about Restream is it allows you to broadcast to Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn Live, Periscope, and I think there are over 30 different platforms, different destinations. It works with Ecamm Live, with Wirecast, OBS Studio, and StreamYard, but there's a full integration with Ecamm Live, which is great. So you can actually bring in the comments into Ecamm Live from all those different platforms if it supports it. So Restream has a number of different plans. It's got a free plan. It's got some paid plans. If you want to remove the branding, so what Restream does is it adds, this stream has been multicasted using Restream. It adds their own name to the end of your titles. If you want to remove that before you go live, then you need to pay for the more expensive plan. And also you can't currently schedule your live videos within Restream. So some downsides, but it's a really, really cool tool and allows you to multicast to all these destinations, and you can use that with Ecamm Live. So bringing in remote guests with Ecamm Live is really easy. All you need to do is open up Skype, and Ecamm Live does this really seamlessly in the background. So here's an example. I've just brought my wife in. She was downstairs. I had to kind of like test it out and show you. So you basically just bring them in on Skype, and then you select them using the camera switcher there. It's really, really simple. Okay, that brings me on to the second barrier, which is confidence and fear. How do you get more confident in front of the camera? How do you actually get started and press that go live button consistently? Well, let's talk about a few issues. First of all, there's perfectionism syndrome. Do you struggle with perfectionism syndrome? The great thing about live video is that it actually helps you get through that. It helps you to stop being a perfectionist, because live video is never going to be perfect. This is a great and very, very accurate chart that I've spent months and months developing. Only joking. But it's really helpful because it shows you that when you first start your live video shows, your fear level is going to be really high. You're going to be really lacking in confidence. But the more you produce, the more live videos you produce, the more consistent you are, the more confident you're going to become. Now, you will have blips along the way, but generally your confidence will improve every single time, which is awesome. And not only that, the quality is going to really improve. I hate to say this, but the first few videos, the first dozen videos that you're going to produce are not going to be that great. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have problems with the technology. But if you keep going, you'll learn from those mistakes and you'll improve. The quality will improve and your confidence will improve. So you just need to get started. And I also want to encourage you to embrace the wrong. Here are some examples of things that have gone wrong with me and also gone wrong with some clients and my audience. So my friend Janet Murray, she forgot to press the end broadcast button at the end of one of her live video shows. And she basically started eating her lunch, which happened to be a crisp sandwich or potato chip sandwich, depending on how you call them. And yeah, that was fun. She got some wonderful comments on that. Or maybe your background that you've lovingly created behind you. You've got this nice backdrop. It falls on top of you halfway through your live video show. That happened to a client of mine. Or maybe the cleaner comes in and starts emptying your trash halfway through your show. Or it could be something like happened to me the other day. This was last week. I had Amanda Robinson on to talk about Facebook Messenger bots. And 20 minutes in, there was a power cut and everything went dark. So we had to postpone the show. But that was fun. Or maybe the kids come in and start storming your office. And this is going to happen a lot at the moment. Anyone remember this? The North Korean expert coming on the BBC News and his kids come in the background. And with all the homeschooling and all the homeworking and the self-isolating and all that kind of stuff at the moment, then yeah, this is going to happen a lot. But you know what? This thing about embracing our flaws and embracing things when things don't go according to plan is what people actually want. This is a great quote from Philip Kotler, and I love this. He says, marketers need to adapt to this new reality and create brands that behave like humans, approachable and likable, but also vulnerable. Brands should become less intimidating. They should become authentic and honest, admit their flaws, and stop trying to seem perfect. So it's now time to share my Confident Live warm-up formula. This is how you can increase your confidence, communicate with your audience more effectively as well. So there are 6 parts to this. There's, first of all, relaxing your body, then focusing on your posture, making sure that your back is straight and you are full of confidence. Next is breath control. Breathing is so important when it comes to all of this. Then pitch interest. This is all to do with making your voice sound more interesting. We don't want you to sound boring after all, do we? Then it's diction and energy. The camera is a bit of an energy sucking device, as I've said before, and so we need to make sure you're keeping your energy levels all the way through. And then finally, it's heightened authenticity, making sure that you're yourself, but you're putting more energy into it. So first of all, relaxing your body. So let's focus first on stretching the arms and the legs. So it'd be great if you could join with me now. Just stick your arms in the air, up to the ceiling, and stretch for 7 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then just shake them out in front of you. Shake your legs out, jump up and down. And great, that's fabulous. Right, then I want you to stretch them forwards in front of you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, shake them out. Shake your legs. Left, right leg. And then I want you to stretch back as well. So stretch your arms behind you for 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Fantastic. And then just shake them out, shake your legs. Great. So that's your arms. Let's focus on the shoulders. We tend to hold a lot of tension in our shoulders, and that can really affect your voice, can affect your posture and your breathing. So what I want you to do is just lift your shoulders up to the ceiling like that, and then back, and then down, and then forwards, back, and down, and keep doing that. Now reverse that. So if you went one way, then you can go the other. So back, up, forwards, down, back, like that. Have I got it the right way around? I think I did. Anyway, there we go. So those are just some shoulder exercises. The next thing is to give your shoulders a bit of a massage. So take your left hand onto your right shoulder, look over to your left, and give your right shoulder a bit of a massage. Just getting rid of any of that kind of tension you may be feeling there. And then do the opposite. So right hand onto the left shoulder, look over to your right, give your left shoulder a massage. Fantastic. Okay, the next thing is your neck. So just look down to the floor and then rub up and down with your fingers and thumbs. And then just pass your fingers and thumbs down towards the floor. Again, just giving it a massage. And then if you do a bit of a yawn as you do this. Inhale a lot of air and then let it out. Fantastic. Excellent. So those are your arms, legs, shoulders, and neck. So we're now on to posture. Posture is so important, whether you're going to be sitting down or standing up. Now, I particularly like standing up. I feel I put more energy into it. I feel more awake. But you can do live videos when you're sitting down. You just need to make sure that your back is straight and that you really are focusing on your breathing as you're going through. I call this the noble posture, the noble position. And it's really important when it comes to any public speaking, live video, performance of any kind, is to think about this. And it's just to imagine that you are a very important person, which of course you are. So lengthen your spine, make sure your head is straight, the head is up and the tailbone is down. Then you want to think about your shoulders being back and down, and imagine you're balancing a book on your head. And your ribs are nice and expanded, so you feel you can breathe in and out. And that brings me on to breathing. Breath control is so important, particularly when it comes to getting away from that fear and being in control. So let's focus on some breathing exercises. So this is a diagram of the rib cage and the diaphragm, which is the muscle just underneath your lungs. Now look at this person as they breathe out. So you can see the diaphragm going up, the rib cage going in, and now look what happens when he breathes in. So the rib cage goes out and the diaphragm goes down. So just put your hands below your bottom rib, pressing quite firmly in the fleshy bit there. And I want you to take a big breath in, feeling that expansion at the sides there. So breathing in and then breathing out. So hopefully you feel a bit of expansion there. If you don't worry. So we're going to do some breath control exercises. You'll see we've got different consonant sounds. We've got a hissing sound, a zzz, a f sound, and a v. So we're going to do this to a zzz sound. We're going to breathe in into your hands, and then I want you to let out the breath slowly for 6 seconds to a zzz sound. So here we go. Let's do it. 1, 2. Fabulous. Okay, and then if you can keep doing that, extending that up to maybe 9 seconds, 12 seconds, and ideally 20 seconds and beyond. This is a really good exercise to just strengthen your core muscles, strengthen your breathing, and supporting the sound that you're producing. Number 4, pitch interest. There's nothing worse than sounding boring. Have you ever watched somebody do a live video or listen to a podcast when their voice is on a monotone and they speak like this and you feel like falling asleep? Well, we do not want that. We want to make sure that your voice goes up and down, that you're using different pitches to make your voice sound more interesting. So some different exercises you can do here. One of my favorites is the lip trill exercise. So this is going from the bottom to the high notes of your voice and then down again like this. If you can't make that sound, then do some other sound. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't need to be musical at all. It's just a case of using the different pitches in your voice. So that's how you can do that. And then just think of a phrase and then make sure that you're using different pitches in your voice. So for example, I'd like a cup of tea, please. Making sure you're going up in the sentence. And then you can do ones where you're going down as well. So just experiment with that and have some fun. Diction. Diction is so important to make sure that you're enunciating the words so people can hear what you're saying. You might be getting really excited and actually make the words too quick. You're stumbling over the words, and we don't want that. Or maybe you're mumbling. And yes, mumbling is not a good thing. So I've got loads of exercises for you that you could do. I mean, there are tongue twister exercises like mana 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 or gada 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 bada bada gada gada bada bada. Experiment with different sounds with you so that you're moving your tongue, your teeth, and your lip. But why don't we add in a bit of pitch interest, some diction, and some breath control, and come up with a song? And so this is the Daddy's Got a Head Like a Ping Pong Ball song, which is so good because it allows you to put all of those things in and allows you to have a bit of fun. It's to the tune of the William Tell Overture. And it goes like this. Why don't you join me? Daddy's got a head like a ping pong ball. Daddy's got a head like a ping pong ball. Daddy's got a head like a ping pong ball, like a ping pong ball. Excellent. There we go. Okay, the final thing in the Confident Live warm-up formula is heightened authenticity. This is all about being yourself, being authentic. We don't want you to be anyone else. So don't try and compare yourself with other people out there. Be yourself. But we need to have some energy in it. So if you are maybe not so much, you're not putting so much energy into your live videos, then this is going to help. But also, as I've said, the camera is an energy sucking device. It's something about the camera that sucks the energy out of us. So we always need to give a little bit more energy than we think when it comes to doing any kind of live video. So heightened authenticity is going to help with that. As we interact with different kinds of people, different kinds of situations, we'll have at different energy levels. So if I was speaking to you on a one-to-one level, I'd probably speak to you at this energy level. If I was speaking with a small group of maybe 5 or 6, I might speak at this level. So I'm still being myself, but I've raised the energy. If I was giving a workshop to, say, 20 or 30 people, I'd be raising the energy levels even more. And to a video, remember the camera is an energy sucking device. So we need to give a little bit more energy than we would normally do. So just raise the energy levels a little bit more when you're doing video. And then finally, if you were giving a keynote in front of 10,000 people, you'd be raising the energy levels even more, like that. But hopefully I'm still being myself. So, great thing to do here is come up with a tagline. This could be a tagline that describes your business, and then practice at those different energy levels. So mine is level up your impact authority using live video. And I'm going to go practice that now through those different energy levels. So number 1, one-to-one level up your impact and authority using live video. Number 2, small group, level up your impact and authority using live video. Number 3, workshop, level up your impact and authority using live video. Number 4, which is a video, level up your impact and authority using live video. And finally, at a conference, level up your impact and authority using live video. There you go. Something for you to practice every day. Okay, that brings us on to number 3, which is the content marketing sphere. How you can produce, how you can promote, how you can repurpose, and how you can plan your live videos. And this is all really down to the 5 P's live video process, which is planning, pre-promotion, producing, post-promotion, and repurposing, the bit that a lot of people forget. So I'm going to go through those 5 one by one. So let's talk about planning your live videos. First of all, you've got to think about what you're going to talk about in your live video show. Is it going to be an interview show, or is it going to be a solo show? Make sure you know what format it is and what you're going to be talking about. But I'm going to talk a little bit more about guest shows, about interview shows. And you do need to be a little bit more prepared for those things. So if you have got a guest, make sure that you send them a link for them to schedule the interview, so that you can give them some times for them to book. So I use Calendly for that. I think that's a really good way of getting them to choose a particular date and time for the live video show and recording for the podcast, if you're going to do a podcast as well. Once the guest schedules that in Calendly, then make sure that you send the guest your checklist. Make sure that they're going through all the things that they need. Do they need to prepare any answers to questions? Do they need any particular technology, such as headphones, microphones, all that kind of stuff? I certainly have all of those listed to make it really, really easy for them when they come in to be a guest on my show. And if you need to, if they're not used to going live, then make sure that you schedule a live video test with them, just to make sure that everything's working well with them. I also recommend creating some show docs in the likes of Google Docs. So I have one for every single episode. I make sure that I know exactly what I'm going to be talking about, the structure of the show, the guest, their biography, all that kind of thing. So I've got it there in front of me, just in case I forget. And quite often I just need to have it in front of me, because I will forget things when I'm doing so much stuff on the show, such as hosting the show, sorting out the technology, producing it, and moderating comments. The other thing I love to do is to create some graphics, some images to help with the promotion of the show. So just before I do that, I go into Canva, or I use a tool like Easel, which is great. So canva.com and easel.com are both great tools that allow you to create video thumbnails and social media thumbnails across all your different networks. So definitely check that out. And then in terms of bringing in remote guests and sorting out the whole system, planning it, I highly recommend using a project management tool like Asana. Now, this might seem over the top, but in my experience, there's so many things that can go wrong, so many things that you can forget. So I put all the different stages in my Asana. I work with my virtual assistant to go through all those different bits. So it allows me to plan and check whether my guest knows what they're doing and all that kind of stuff. So that might be something that you want to think about as well. And as well as using Calendly, I will then email them a checklist. So I have a templated email that I send out. I change it obviously for each person that I send to, but I make sure that I have everything listed there that I know that I need to send them, such as the guest checklist. And I need from them, for example, their headshot and biography and the Skype ID as well. So it's a good idea if you've got guests on your show to have a templated email and also use a tool like Calendly and Asana. That brings me on to the next section, which is to pre-promote your live video shows. This is particularly important if you're scheduling your live video shows, which you can do in most live video tools out there. So I use a number of different tools to help here. One that I particularly like is Add Event. And Add Event allows me to create a calendar, a shared calendar that I can then share with my audience. So they can subscribe to all my different shows for the next month or two in their favorite calendar app. Now, I did used to use an app called Send Calendar, which was a bit cheaper. Unfortunately, they have died a death or in the process of closing down. So the one I've moved to now is called Add Event, addevent.com. And what you can also do is, before you do that, is to make sure you schedule it in your live video tool. And then you can do that to Facebook and YouTube and get the link for that so that you can then post in the calendar. And also, obviously, you can then send it out to your email list and send it out to your social media channels as well. So the great thing about scheduling to Facebook and YouTube is that they will give you a link for the video, the video on those channels, so that people can subscribe to updates and be able to watch it. So that's a great thing to do. And you can post that out on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and also don't forget your email as well. Really important. So make sure you send an email also to your guest with questions and also a final reminder, just in case they forget that you got your live show as well. With email, I particularly like this tool called SendTrick. That's SENDTRIC.com. And this allows you to put a countdown timer in your email. So for your newsletter, so you can actually create a bit of excitement and tension for your subscribers. So you can basically put in the time of your live show and it will count down to your live show within the email. So definitely check that out. It's a really cool tool and it's also free. Now we're on to producing your live show. The day has come for you to go live, and you need to make sure that you're following your checklist and you know exactly what you're doing. Lots of things to think about, but it doesn't have to be complicated. You can keep things simple. But yeah, do follow your checklist. Make sure you're doing that. Make sure you're warming up your body and your voice. So I've covered that in the last section, the Confident Live warm-up formula. Make sure you're doing that and that you're starting with a bang. You're starting with a smile. You're starting with a bit of excitement as well. Make sure you don't delay. So once you press that go live button, make sure you just get started. It's so tempting just to check whether you've got any live viewers joining you or to check whether you're live, but start with confidence. Introduce you and your topic so that people know what you're talking about. And at this point, I think it's important to mention that actually you've got two different audiences for your live shows. You've got people from the future. These are your replay viewers. So these are people who are watching the replay in the future. And these are the people that are probably going to watch right from the start. So you need to make sure you greet them first. So I always like to say, thank you so much for watching the replay. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about blah, 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 and blah. So make sure you do that. But then once you do get your live viewers joining, then make sure that you greet them, you welcome them by name, and you make them feel welcome. There is a balance to be struck between these two audiences because, of course, if you spend too much time greeting your live video audience, it's going to get a bit boring for your replay audience. And also, it makes repurposing a little bit more difficult. So just bear that in mind. Important to greet your live video audience, to have a conversation with them and for them to have their names and their photos highlighted on the screen. But don't spend too long on that and think about your replay audience too. So in terms of once you press that go live button and you're starting your show, you need to think about a few things. First of all is to moderate and engage with the comments. That's really important. And you might want to think about getting a moderator in to help you with those. Don't get distracted by the comments. So one thing that I would recommend that you do is when you go live, make sure that you focus on the first topic first. So if you're interviewing your guest, talk about topic A or topic 1 first, then look at the comments and bring them in, and then go on to topic B, topic 2, and do it that way. So don't try not to get distracted, but obviously you do want to strike that balance between engaging with those comments and also not getting distracted. So think about that. So yeah, you could use a moderator like a virtual assistant who's helping you in the background. And if they can always ping you using Messenger or Slack, if there's a message, if there's a comment that you really should be looking at, and that's going to help. And you could also consider someone to produce your live shows so that you can just focus on hosting or actually interviewing your guest and not worrying about any of the technology while you're doing that. At the end of your show, make sure you summarize your content. You're making sure that people know very easily what you've talked about in that show, because there might have been so much you've talked about. So keep that really simple at the end. Make sure you have a call to action, so easy to forget, and also let people know when you're next going live, because you want people to keep coming back to your live shows, and you need to make sure that people know when you're going to go live and also where. Once you've finished, make sure you email your guest thanking them for the show, for being on there, and also make sure that you let them know the links to your Facebook or YouTube or both your live shows, so that they can interact with the comments as well, just if there were any good questions that you have there. Right, now we're on to the post-promotion. So a lot of people will end it there. They think everything is done. They've done the live show. They can go to bed. They can relax. But no, actually, you've got so much more to think about. And this is the exciting bit, because at this point, you can turn your live shows into a piece of evergreen content, which is so, so important. So think about the post-promotion. So very similar to the pre-promotion, you can schedule the links in your social media management tools, so to Twitter and LinkedIn and Facebook and things like that. Make sure that people know that they can still catch the replay. And make sure that you reply to those outstanding comments. You might have mentioned people on your live show, but actually going back and replying to those comments is really important. And if you're going live to LinkedIn Live, just be aware that not all social media management tools do a particularly good job at integrating with that, but Agora Pulse does. So if you're going to be interacting with people on LinkedIn Live afterwards, Agora Pulse is a really good tool to check out. Then the final bit, which a lot of people forget about, is repurposing. And this is the bit that I really get excited about, because with that live show, I can then produce this other content, the plethora of other different types of content from that one piece of content. It's great. So from that one live show, you can create blog posts, social media images and videos, a podcast, LinkedIn videos and YouTube videos. And it saves you so much time to do that. Just from creating that one piece of content, you can create all these other types of content very easily. So a tool that will help you here is a tool called Descript, DESCRIPT.com. It's got a free plan and also a very inexpensive, I think it's around $10 per month plan as well. So what you can do with this, you can just drop your video in. So if you're using a tool like Ecamm Live, you can just drag the video that you recorded into this, or download it from YouTube or Facebook into Descript, and it will transcribe the audio in that into text, which is amazing. Now, the great thing about this is that you can go through the text, and if there was a word that you said wrong, incorrectly, or you said some ums and ers and filler words and things like that, you can actually just delete it from the text, and it will magically delete it from the video. So this is a great way of editing video just by editing the words, which is really cool. And they've also got this new amazing tool, which I haven't had the chance to play with yet. It's only just come out, and it allows you to add words in to it. And it's mind-boggling and quite scary, to be honest. So for example, you might have missed out a word. So what you can do with Descript is type the word in, and it will magically, using your voice, make you say those words. Don't quite know how it does it. It's kind of artificial intelligence or some kind of voodoo magic or something like that. But anyway, Descript is a really cool tool. Definitely check it out. If you don't want to use that, there's also the likes of rev.com, which charges $1.25 per minute. It's really good quality. It uses real life humans to transcribe your videos into captions and into text. So that's a great thing if you want to add captions to your Facebook Lives or your YouTube videos. Another thing you can use is headliner.app. So this is great for creating those 15 or 30-second audio or video clips for social media. So definitely check out headliner.app. So you can just edit little 15 or 30-second clips, bung them into Headliner. It will transcribe it for you. And then it will add the captions, bake them in, burn them into those videos for you. And it's really, really cool. If you're going to convert it into a podcast, I highly recommend considering doing that. It's something that I do every week for my Confident Live Marketing show, is make sure that you get the audio in a good quality. You can edit it a little bit as well, and then use a podcasting hosting company like Captivate. I really like Captivate, and I wanted to mention them because they're a fairly new podcast host, but they do so many things well. And the analytics and just the way they make it so easy to add your podcasts, create a podcast and add your episodes on there is amazing. So Captivate, definitely check out that. It's captivate.fm. And also then make sure that you're creating blog posts for all of your live shows too. So you can, using the Descript or rev.com, you can import your show notes, your transcriptions into there and make it really, really cool. And it's great, obviously, for SEO. So there we go. Lots of things to think about. Just a few final points before I finish. Some action points on just covering really what I've been talking about today. So a great way to gain confidence and become more consistent is to use the likes of Instagram stories or private live videos. The great thing about Instagram stories, they're not live video, but they allow you to become more consistent by creating short little videos, getting you used to getting in front of the camera. And the other thing about Instagram stories is that they only last for 24 hours. So what's the worst that's going to happen? Or you could go live to your Facebook profile and change the privacy settings to only me and do a test live video that way. Keep the live video tech simple. Bootstrap your live video studio over time. So don't try and get loads of really expensive, complicated equipment to begin with. Plan your live shows with 1 to 3 points. Keep them simple and build that up over time. And also practice the Confident Live warm-up formula every day if you can, particularly before you go live. It only takes 2 to 5 minutes to do that. Practice your voice's energy levels by getting the right heightened authenticity. That's really important. And then this is a bit of a scary one, but if you can, watch your live videos back, preferably with a friend, because they will keep you in check. And write down 3 things that you did well, followed by 3 things that you could improve. But make sure that you are being constructive and not being overly critical about that. And finally, make sure you keep a live video journal, putting down what you've learned, what you're going to do for the future, how you're going to improve. Really good things to do there. So that's it. I hope you found that really interesting. If you've got any questions, any thoughts, I'll be around. You can check me out at my website, iag.me. My podcast, The Confident Live Marketing Show, is at iag.me/podcast. And of course, you can tweet me, you can Facebook me. I'm all over the interwebs. Just search for my name, Ian Anderson Gray, and that's Gray with an A. See you soon. And until next time, I encourage you to level up your impact, authority, and profits through the power of Confident Live Video. See you soon. Bye.